How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new House of X wave, the Tri-Sentinel Build-A-Figure wave Wolverine figure. This figure does not come with any pieces, but he does have a really beautiful deco on his packaging. It just looks like, honestly, some of my favorite Marvel Legends packaging that we have seen. So, first things first, I've been super busy. I just moved, so I have not posted in like a month, and I figured this was a great way to come back with this figure because I actually got him fairly early. I have seen him popping up around Walmarts here and there across the US, but here in Minnesota, he is nowhere to be seen. And I only saw one of him being sold at Mercari for 35 bucks. It came out to 42, but I figured I'd just jump on it, pay twice the price, and get this guy because he is honestly my most wanted figure from the wave aside from Magneto. So without further ado, let's crack this dude open and talk about him. So I did cut the tape so I don't ruin the packaging at all. You can see it does have very, very nice packaging, and if you want to read it, there it is. With adamantium claws unleashed, Logan is prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice in the fight for freedom for all mutants. And again, some beautiful artwork. It's pretty much all the same artwork all throughout. Some fancy spelling. I have not read this story, but I'm definitely going to now that I own the figure. I'm very curious, so I'm not totally sure what's going on in this story, and I'm not sure what that fancy writing is. I imagine it has something to do with the Tri-Sentinel. I don't know, but I definitely want to read it and figure out what is going on. So this dude is out of the box. Again, you get one of those fancy little slips with some stuff and a very cool backdrop in the box. We'll set that off to the side. And here his Wolverine in his plastic casing. Here is the new Wolverine head sculpt with a very toothy grin. It's a very beautiful sculpt all in all. I love the headpiece, the seams and everything. Again, the color scheme's beautiful. And yeah, the sculpt is really nice. Look at those teeth. But my only problem is, as you can see, he has some real bad paint problems. And I don't know if it's just mine because this dude's kind of early. I don't know. Hopefully nobody else has these problems. But you can see I have some dark hues there that just look god-awful. But it is a really nicely done sculpt. The eyes look great too. 10 out of 10 easily for this head here. And he does come with a second head with a little chin strap beard going on. Looks pretty cool. But I'm not totally sure what the context of this is. I wish I could provide some. But again, some of the paint's kind of shoddy on this. It doesn't look too good. But those eyes are like a really plasticky kind of look. They're like glossy, and they actually look really beautiful. I'm very, very pleased with it. And again, the seams on this mask look wonderful. So if you do want to pop this toothy grin off, which is a very unique Logan head sculpt, I guess, so I'm very happy with it. Hopefully no one else has paint issues like I did, but again, easy to see past when you have a figure this nice. The head is pretty hard to pop on. Can I get this on? There we go. Doesn't really snap on, just kind of suctions on there almost. And it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I'm not sure, honestly, about the look of Wolverine having this little chin beard, but I'm sure if I read the story, I'd have a greater appreciation for it. But either way, if you have read the story, you probably are excited to see this. And let me tell you, it does look decent. It would have been nice to see some other tones in that beard, but you can see some fleshy tone bleeding through there, which is kind of a bummer, but whatever. It looks good for the most part. The sculpt is beautiful. That's what really matters to me. But the paint is a little, it's okay. It's okay. And one other nitpicky side note, I notice here the line where the colors split, you get that kind of mustardy yellow, and then the brown here actually goes down below his knee. And this guy's does not. I'm not sure if that's a really big deal or not. Again, I don't have a full context on this story and all the art and how all the drawings were done, but it's just something I noticed. Another thing I did notice too, which is a really good side note, is the fact that these claws actually are really like a metallic gunmetal almost, or a darker metallic color, and it's just beautiful looking. It really takes away from that plasticky figure look and adds a little bit of realism to Logan. And you can see here compared to these look a lot better. However, they are kind of thick. They are the claws we saw with the Weapon X, or yeah, Weapon X, right? X-Force Wolverine, not Weapon X. So we saw these with the X-Force Wolverine, these thicker claws, which I actually don't have on me, but I do have the figure. So these are really, really nice claws, but I do not recall if they were the same type of paint. Comment below and let me know if they were. I'd be curious to know. But you can see it's a huge upgrade from these claws here. You can see here too on the head sculpt, it almost appears to be like a separate piece glued onto this back head piece. And I just want to go to show like how indented these eyes are. It really does look realistic and cool, like it's dead ass his eyeballs. It looks good. But of course they're pure white, and I like that more personally and appreciate it. Another thing that should be noted too about this figure overall, when you do use his articulation, the one problem I have with this figure, well, one of the two, which is the first one, is there's no rotation here below the knee, kind of a bummer. But there is kind of a lip where this joint fits into this kind of pocket here where you can utilize it. So when you push it, it kind of just gets stuck there. So you have to kind of push it down and in, and it'll go all the way out. But yeah, be wary of that little lip there. It's kind of hard on the plastic, so good thing to be noted. And again, these two figures are pretty much exactly the same outside of the paint and the belt. Gloves are the same, the claws are the same. These are not the claws that actually came with him. I actually got a factory defect one where, and I'm an idiot, I should just saved it in the box, but he had a claw here, claw here. He was missing both his middle claws. So kind of a funny thing, but I ended up just replacing them with these claws because at the time I was like, hey, these are a little bit cooler. But if they were anything like these, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. But I don't remember what color they were. I do like these claws more. I kind of wish they were a little bit skinnier, but I don't know. It's kind of personal preference in my opinion. But they are exactly the same. So if you own this figure, you know exactly what you're getting from this one, aside from the paint job, which mine is a little bit poopy, but I don't know. I can see past it. So otherwise, a beautiful figure, exactly the same Wolverine body mold we've pretty much seen with all of these guys, except the boots are different than a lot of them. Of course, they kind of vary, but overall, that general body mold is exactly the same. We do see pins with this guy. We have seen a lot of pinless tech going around, but they didn't really update this one, which is kind of a bummer. So hopefully we see that in the future. I know some people don't really mind pins or no pins. Personally, it's not a huge big deal for me, but I do appreciate it. It does look kind of nice. So the one thing that does vary is this belt, obviously, and the paint is done pretty solid on this. It looks decent. Throughout the suit, the paint is actually pretty wonderful. You can see the arm hair. That looks really nice. I don't really see any paint problems except for like right there. You can see some yellow bleeding through, a little bit of paint bleeding on the edges here, which is kind of expected with a factory-made figure. So, I mean, not a big deal. One thing I am kind of bothered by are the claws here. You can see some paint. But again, I can see past it. It's okay, but that's kind of a bummer too. Maybe it's some dried blood, you know, whatever. But aside from that, no real paint issues except for some seams right there and whatnot. But overall, we have that solid Logan body mold that is just perfect for this figure. It looks amazing. The gloves are sculpted very nicely, just like on the Weapon X Wolverine, or the XX Force Wolverine. Oh my god. And the boots look very, very nice too, of course. These kinds of like treads on the boots do make him a little bit difficult to stand up at times. At least for me anyways. Maybe I'm just not very good at what I'm doing. No, I am. But I definitely am having some issues here. He stands pretty solid, honestly, but he's a little bit shakier compared to a lot of Marvel Legends. He takes a little bit longer to get posed. But overall, I really have no problems with this figure outside of the paint. Everything else to me is beautiful and perfect. I even kind of like the lip on the arm here a little bit. I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the aesthetic. Maybe I'm nostalgic. I don't know. But the sculpt overall is just beautiful with this dude. The musculature is beautiful. The costume is wonderful looking. You get to see Logan in that brown and yellow look that fits so well. The colors are all consistent throughout with the boots and the gloves and the belt, consistent colors. The mask and the actual suit, all consistent. The flesh tones are consistent. So I really don't think Hasbro did anything wrong with this guy aside from not include a bath piece, which I mean, I think they did it because they know Wolverine is going to sell more than any of those dudes. He's the one figure in the wave. Everybody wants Wolverine, man. So I think they felt safe not putting a bath piece in there. But I'm glad they did include him with this wave and get him out. He is a very solid figure, and I'm happy to see this costume. So, without further ado, let's talk about the articulation. And just so I don't miss anything, here he is next to the movie Deadpool, the best Deadpool figure we've gotten, hands down. As in my opinion, anyways. and the Ghibli Cyclops. And here he is next to Spider-Man from the Retro Wave in the Love Triangle Jean Grey, which is a great figure. And you can see his height matches up perfectly with all these figures. And lastly, here he is next to the Mafex Spidey and Wolverine. And his height is decent compared to both of them. He looks pretty good next to Spidey. And honestly, this Wolverine and that Wolverine, I'd say that this guy's I'd say they're about the same height. Maybe he's a little bit taller, give or take. But I'd say for the most part, he fits in very, very nicely. So here's Logan next to the 90s X-Men Wolverine and the Weapon X Wolverine, which is one of my favorite Wolverine figures. Not because he's naked or anything, he just has a cool sculpt. Yeah, okay. There's no saving myself from that one. But you can see here he is next to the Cowboy Logan figure too, and we can swap some head sculpts and see how those look. This honestly just looks absolutely horrific in my opinion. The skin tones do not match at all, and his head, it doesn't look right. And this Hugh Jackman, that does fit on there, but again, you can see there's lots of inconsistencies and problems. This is nightmarishly terrible and doesn't really fit on there too well, but it'll stay on. Yeah. And if you wanted this terrible head sculpt, there you go. It looks decent on here. The skin tones don't match, but in terms of the size, it looks pretty good and consistent with the rest of his body. However, it does have kind of protruding bottom lip and chin that look kind of awkward, and very pink lips and weird hair. It's okay. It's okay. And this one literally has no neck at all. Okay. And again, this one looks very awkward, and the skin tones are pretty inconsistent. So overall, you can definitely make some of those work. But for the last segment of this review, we will talk about his articulation. I waited till the end because most people already know what it pretty much is. So anyways, let's get into it. His head looks down very far, looks back very far. Obviously has a little bit of a neck pivot there, rotation all the way around. The arms push him down, they go all the way out. They also have a very, very nice butterfly joint, beautiful. Obviously rotate all the way around. You have a bicep swivel, which kind of looks awkward right there. You can see there's a gap, but easy to not notice also. Double jointed elbow, rotation at the wrist, a hinge, which is very nice. Same hinge on both hands, no vertical hinge, and that wouldn't really make sense, so I'm glad they went with this. Nice ab crunch as well, goes very far forward and back, rotation at the waist. The legs do go out pretty decent. They do have a rotation here at the thigh. They go forward very, very far, back a decent amount. Double jointed knees, no rotation below the knee, sadly. A hinge at the boot, the foot, and an ankle pivot. So at the end of the day, I would easily give this guy like a 9.5 out of 10. Just because of the paint problems. If you do see him pop up on Mercari, I don't know if I would pay $40 again. I am glad I have him. Because Wolverine's one of my favorites. So I mean, if he's one of your favorite characters and you love this outfit, dude, do what you feel is best. But if you're an average collector, I'm sure you'll see him pop up in stores, hopefully. If not, just wait, don't pay scalper prices if you see any, whatever. I think 40 is actually fairly reasonable, though. It's not some insane amount. I don't know if anyone's seen these Vipers on fucking Mercari and eBay, but holy shit, man. People are just getting wrecked out there. That's ridiculous, some of the prices. Sell one for like 120 bucks. What the fuck, man? That's insane. If you're doing that, fuck yourself, man. But overall, this guy is a beautiful figure. I totally recommend picking him up if you have the chance. We have some beautiful updated claws, very cool outfit, again a great sculpt, and just an awesome character. Just a few paint issues with mine, hopefully yours doesn't have any, but overall a very, very solid addition to the collection. So with that being said, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't yet, please subscribe for more reviews, figure talk, collections. Just subscribe. I'll definitely supply the content. Like this video if you want to see more. Comment below and let me know some things about this storyline, some things I might have missed. The costume with the knees, does it actually go below the knees in every single panel? Let me know. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this review. Stay happy, stay healthy. Hopefully you're vaccinated soon and you can get out there and figure hunt some more. Peace, guys.